Hey guys. Edward, are you with us? Maybe as we fix it, I'll
No.
Oh, can you hear me, Edward? All right. Students of history, you know Edward James Olmos, of course, in 1992 had his broom in his dumpster and sort of signified that the violence, the protest, that the looting was over. And a lot of people got that message and effectively put an end to it. And yeah, Edward, okay, I believe you're with us now. Edward, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good, okay. We were talking about 1992. I was just giving some of the backstory. I wanted to ask you, do you have a broom this morning and do you have your dumpster?
You know, this is a different era now. With COVID out there, it's impossible for me at my age to go out there. If I get sick, it could be really, really fatal. My age is kind of stopping me from doing outside work. I haven't been in quarantine for 3 months. I've not gone out.
Yeah.
So I will say this. There are many, many people that are out there right now doing exactly what was done back in 1992, yes, 28 years ago. And the problem with then and the problem now is that you have an extraordinarily difficult issue which has to be understood and has to be spoken, and people have to stand up and they have to walk out there and they have to be part of the voice that hits hard, because that's the only thing we have. We must do, and I put this very, very strongly, we must do nonviolent civil disobedience. That's a given. It's been used by major understanding by Cesar, by Martin Luther King, by many, many people, Gandhi. They used it very effectively, but the nonviolent issue is the key to really bringing the voice to the top of its understanding. Right now, what happened back in 92, is that we've been dissipated because of the amount of violence that is starting to materialize inside of it. Now, there was much more violence after Rodney King in Los Angeles. There was 300,000 people that took to the streets.
Right.
There were 6,000 buildings that were gutted and burned. 57 people were killed. This is very different so far,
Right.
but we haven't had the verdict yet.
Right. Exactly.
This is what's very difficult for me right now.
There was an
I
acquittal.
will be looking at the future and watching this very carefully, because all 4 police officers should be right now in prison. They should be held because they're all responsible in some way, and let them find out if they are responsible or not responsible in prison. They should be inside, because that's what caused this.
Right.
They gave them the leeway. But all the people that are right now that are pillaging and stealing are young kids that are getting motivated by anarchists and people who have extreme left, extreme right.
Edward, speak to that for a moment. Hold on. Well, let's speak to that for a moment. A couple of things. George Floyd's brother Terrence is speaking this morning. He's actually condemning the violence, and he's saying it's overshadowing what's going on. The message should be George Floyd. And you were talking about the lawbreakers who are taking advantage of the situation. There are people who want to protest, like you say, peacefully and want to have their message heard, but there are people who are coming in and taking advantage. How do you stop that?
Now that you've released it, it's very difficult, but you must turn around and have the people themselves, we, the people, must obey one thing, and that is the curfew. When you get to the point of understanding, okay, we have right now, you can go out there right now and stay outside until, I guess, 1 o'clock in different parts of Los Angeles, per se. But in the United States of America, there will be curfews. Follow the curfews, please, and get off the streets as soon as the curfew hits. That way, your voice is heard, you're out there, but you get off the street. Only people that are left on the street are people that will be causing really, really difficult times for the society that they're living in. Now, I gotta say that last night, here in Los Angeles even, there were people that stayed out all night in reverence to George. And they were left. They sat quietly. They prayed. They said they were showing their support by being there in masses to try to bring awareness to a very difficult situation. You know, Kareem says the best. If you haven't heard what Kareem's saying, listen to Kareem. He's saying things that are exactly correct in understanding what is going on. This is not something that's going to go away.
Edward, what's it going to take to stop the violence? What's it going to take to bring the temperature down?
The rest of the 4 police officers, and then the indictment, the situation of speeding up the process to the point of where people feel that there is justice being done. Unless there's justice being done, people will continue to be out there. While people are out there, people are going to take advantage of the situation. And that's the part that really affects me the most, because the people that are taking advantage of this, the people that are doing the looting, the people that are doing it in a very precise way. This is much more precise than before. Before, they would follow the lines of the people marching, and then they'd start breaking up. Now they're going into different regions, and they're hitting different stores that they want to hit. That's the difficulty, because the police officers are taking care of the masses, and therefore the surrounding areas are being hit. So I got to say to the people themselves, please understand two things. One, if you've taken something, and you really feel bad about taking it this morning because you took it yesterday or the day before, and you're feeling inside, I don't feel good about myself anymore. Take what you got and place it in front of a church, or take it to the a homeless shelter, or give it away. Don't keep it, because that in itself makes you part of the difficulty of what we're trying to stop. Discrimination and racism and prejudice systems are things that really attack us. Second thing, we are one race, okay? This is the very difficult part of understanding. We're one race, the human race. Inside of the human race, there are Africans, there are Caucasians, there are
Edward,
indigenous.
we're running out of time. Sorry, just make your second and third point real quickly. We do want to hear it.
Okay, that's it. We're one race.
Okay.
And you have to really understand that for what it is. Let's unite under the situation that what happened to George happened to all of us.
One man.
It didn't just happen to Black Lives Matter. It happened to all of us. And yes, the Latino has been under this gun for a long time, and we've been voicing it for a long, long time. But I'm hoping that people will understand that violence is not the answer at all.
All right. Edward James Olmos, one man in 1992 with a broom and a dumpster, quickly joined by 400 other people, and effectively put an end to the rioting and to the looting, and definitely brought the temperature down, and we hope to see that again. There is that iconic picture from 1992 after the beating of Rodney King and the acquittal of those officers. Edward James Olmos, it was great to hear your voice on this subject, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dan.
All right.